You chose your specific baby body.
Welcome to Soul Guide with Vandia Lozano, a show about past lives, life between lives, and this life.
Hey, everybody, great to be here with you again today. So, last week we were talking about traveler souls and galactic souls among us, and I'm still getting over a little cold, so I sound a little froggy, but I can talk now. So, last week we were talking about traveler souls and galactic souls among us, and this week we're talking about our earthly bodies as we focus on rest and recharging this month of August. I still tend to run on an academic calendar because I was in school and the teaching for so long. But I think for a lot of us, August is that time where we take a little time for ourselves, for our families, to just kind of recharge, refresh ourselves and our souls. So I did prepare a little bit for you. And for those of you listening, if you wanted to watch on Facebook or YouTube, you can watch this later if you want to see the actual slides, but you get most of it just from what I'm saying. So, how to rest and recharge. One of the things that we do during the Life Between Lives session is you go back to the womb. So you go back through your childhood, you go back to the womb, and then this is the way we take you into your immediate past life and then crossing over into your life between lives. But you go into the womb and we're getting younger and younger and smaller, and then the next thing counting you down, you're in your mother's womb the time before you're born. And this is always when I kind of hold my breath a little bit, like, okay, here we go. And everybody goes. And then we just start asking questions, and it's amazing. And I even had my own experience when I did my sessions. You experience being in there. And so one of our questions is, I'm curious about your physical comfort. What's it like in there? Is it roomy? Is it cramped? I know it's a little snug. And sometimes people say it's really roomy because they're a little bit smaller. Some people say, oh, I can barely move. Can you hear your mother's heartbeat? A lot of times people can. Can you hear your mother's heartbeat? Are you aware of your mother's emotional state, and can you influence it? Like if she's under stress, can you use your soul energy to calm her? And sometimes people say they can. At what month did you join the fetus? That's always a really interesting one. It's usually 3 or 4, but I've had people as late as 6. So the soul joins the fetus, the baby, at a certain month. And sometimes we ask, what are you doing? Do you stay put? Are you kind of moving around, doing other things while you're waiting to be born? A lot of times people are just kind of hanging out. Souls are hanging out. And then if we're getting a lot of answers and people are able to be in touch with their soul energy at this stage and in a pretty detailed way, we can even say, do you know why you chose this life? And sometimes they'll say, yes, I know it's going to be a hard life, or they'll be kind of hesitant. I remember one specific person was saying, oh, and then when we went to their Life Between Lives, we found out that they weren't really that eager to reincarnate this time, and we found out why. And then in your place of life body selection, so not actually usually in the womb, but when you go to the place of life body selection, one of the things we do ask, and you get to find out, is how much energy, your soul energy, how much did you bring into this life? So again, sometimes 30%, 40%, more advanced souls usually bring less because they're busy doing all kinds of other things in their life between lives, sometimes on other planets, sometimes in classes or labs or working in different places over there. And then I've seen people bring as much as 60 or 80%. And we ask, can you tap into the rest of that energy when you need it? And usually they can. So just as a little sneak peek preview, we are getting ready for our Life Between Lives premier retreat. I've done day retreats before, but this will be the first overnight one. And one of the surprises, one of the things we're going to have is a back to the womb session where you can use this and then we'll access your place of life body selection. So a little bit of a glimpse of your life between lives. So first impressions of your baby body. Remember, you chose your specific baby body. So is this body a good match for your soul's consciousness? Most of the time people say yes, but not always. Sometimes it's a little bit different from what they usually inhabit. What is distinctive about this baby brain? And I've heard things like, oh, it's really fast, or, it's really sharp, or, sometimes just different things that tell you a little bit about the life that you're going to live. What about the emotional system? Sometimes it's a sensitive emotional system. Sometimes it's a little bit hardier emotional system. But we get to find out sort of what the soul's first impressions are about this life that they're going to live and this baby that they've chosen. Because remember, in the place of life body selection, usually it's like 3 screens. I've seen it be people. One guy said it was a warehouse, a futuristic warehouse with pods that you jump in and it shoots you off into a life. One person had a room full of babies with Christmas tags, and she just knew which baby was hers. But you have options. Sometimes there's screens, and you can actually step into the life and try it on and see which one you want to choose. So, how do you feel about being male or female this time around? A lot of times people say, this is what I usually do, but every now and then they'll say, no, this is different. I usually inhabit male bodies or female bodies. And then, is it something you normally do, or is this new for you? So we have earthly needs. We all need time to rest and recharge. Our baby bodies are now grown up bodies. So remember last week we were talking about on some other planets, they don't even eat food. And some other planets, we swim around and have an easy, peaceful life. So we have needs here for sleep, for food, for rest, for recharging. It's just how we're made, how these earthly bodies are created. So it's very important to honor your body's unique physical, emotional, and mental needs for rest and recharging. So you chose a specific baby body, and sometimes we can be impatient, like, oh, why do I have this going on or that going on? But we each chose the specific baby body we're now inhabiting, and it's important for us to take care of that. And I included just a little bit introvert, extrovert. This isn't part of Life Between Lives, but just something that's kind of handy is some of us are more introverted, and so we recharge differently than some of us who are more extroverted. So if you're an introvert, you recharge alone. If you're an extrovert, you recharge not just with people, but with big groups of people. And this is based on Myers-Briggs, Kersey Bates. A lot of you are probably familiar with that, or some other personality, something that is sort of similar. But it's important that we take into account our unique need and that we not think that the way we need to recharge, there's something wrong with that. That who we are, the baby body with our physical, emotional, mental, psychological needs, these are specific to who we are, and it's important that we honor that. So whether it's alone or in groups, we need time off. And so whether it's a vacation, a retreat, meditation, time to yourself, or time at a big group event like a concert, whatever fills your bucket, your cup, whatever makes you feel rested, recharged, kind of ready to face the world again. So then you're ready for your next big project or undertaking, or when we were kids, ready to go back to school. Just a side note, we didn't go back to school until Labor Day. Now kids are going back in August or even earlier, which I think just sounds really hard. So God bless you, those of you who had to go back sooner. And anyway, just as an aside. So to me, psychologically, I always feel like the new year starts in September. And that way you're ready to continue working on your life purpose, whatever you're here for. But it is okay to take time off. We all need time off. That's the way these earthly bodies were created. So it's okay to take it easy sometimes. So sometimes your purpose in this life is to relax, like that's your life purpose. Sometimes we've chosen an easy life. If we're a younger, newer soul, sometimes we're choosing easier lives. And sometimes if we're a more advanced soul, we take a break. We need like a vacation life. We just want something that isn't so complicated. And I've actually seen it where the council has told someone, this life was supposed to be easier than you're making it be, or you're making it harder. I don't think they said you're making it harder. They said it's supposed to be easier. And they gave really specific suggestions. Take care of yourself, set boundaries. Sometimes they say things like what to eat and what not to eat, and drink more water. I mean, they could be really specific sometimes about taking care of ourselves. So sometimes the life was meant to be less hard than it actually has turned out to be, and they'll let you know that. And if it's a hard life, it's even more reason to take care of yourself. They do say, love yourself as much as you love others. Yes, you might be here for a life of sacrifice, but you have to take time and charge yourself, recharge yourself, do things that refresh and replenish you, or you won't make it through. And so the kind of that whole thing, on the airplane, to put on your own oxygen mask first. So even if it's a hard life where you're here to learn compassion or you're sacrificing or you're learning empathy, we still have to take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, so we can kind of make it through. Oh, and I wrote notes daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. So, maybe you take a break in the evenings and watch your favorite TV show. Or once a week, you make sure to go for a walk on the beach. We live in Ventura. We're really lucky. So we can walk at the harbor if we want, or whatever your version of that is, taking the dog for a walk. Or once a month, you make a point to do something really fun or get together with a friend. Again, if for you, recharging might be a cup of tea and a book. For someone else, it might be getting together with girlfriends or boyfriends or friends or colleagues, but whatever recharges you. And then yearly, like I said, in the summer is oftentimes when we make it a priority to get away, have a little time for ourselves, just so then we can kind of come back refreshed, because we can't be like the horse that just kind of gets beaten and beaten, the old metaphor, and it just stops moving after a certain point. And sometimes that's what we do to ourselves. And it's important that we take good care of ourselves and that we value these baby bodies that we've chosen. And especially now with all the health issues that are going on among us. So embrace the baby body that you chose. You chose your specific body. You chose the people that you are going to be incarnating with in this life, your people from your soul group and other people from other soul groups. And you put all this in motion. It doesn't mean you don't have free will, but you kind of set the stage for this life with your counsel, with your guide, with your soul group. So you chose this body, you chose the people you're going to work with in this life, you chose the lessons you're going to work on. You chose how much energy you were going to bring into this life. Oh, hi, Stacy. Thank you. I know I need to hear this too. You know that saying, we teach what we need to know. Stacy Powell said, thank you, Monty. You needed to hear this. You chose how much energy. And so sometimes the advanced souls didn't bring quite enough energy. They only brought 30% and they're running on empty. So they need to take time to recharge. And when we go to the life between lives, there's often a place of healing, especially if the previous life was a difficult life. Mine was a waterfall, and I can still picture it. And we actually have you anchor it in your mind so you can return there and recharge and heal and refresh when you need to. So whatever that looks like for you. So you chose how much energy, but sometimes you might need to tap into some of that over there, especially if you chose a harder, more difficult life. And then I want to give a plug. Be true to who you are. Back to the introvert, extrovert. You chose your makeup. I know things happen that change who we are, but there's a certain amount of who we are that we come in with. So I wrote, you are not too talkative, you extroverts. I'm an extrovert. You are not, and people are surprised I'm an extrovert because I'm kind of a shy extrovert, which is funny. You are not too quiet if you're an introvert. And this is the one I hear the most. You are not too sensitive. Those of us who are drawn to this work are typically very sensitive souls. And growing up, we were often the most sensitive in our family. And so, it was always buck up. Why can't you be normal? You're too sensitive. You are not too sensitive. You chose this body and your soul chose you to be you for a specific reason. And then I threw in not too disorganized. That's another Myers-Briggs category. Is sometimes people are more organized and people are less organized. And in our society, we have certain things that we value, like we push people to be extroverts. We push people to be more analytical. We push people to be more organized. And you may or may not fit into what our American capitalist society values. But you are uniquely you. You chose this baby body And it's important that you take care of it and that you allow other people to take care of you and care about you too. So it's okay to be you. That was what I wanted to share today. It's okay to be you and to recharge and refresh and replenish whatever that looks like to you. So let me look and see. I don't see any questions. Thank you, Stacy, for chiming in. It's always nice to see you and hear from you. So let me just look. I think I have a few things I wanted to share with you. So just a little plug, we are planning our premier LBL retreat in the spirit of recharging and replenishing. So I thought this would be perfect to share today. Thank you, David. David said, thanks, Bundy. Thank you for being here and your very loyal support, David. Thank you, thank you. And so we're hoping to do that this fall. I've been looking at venues and trying to find just the right place that Spirit is guiding me to. So I'm very, very excited. I've done these things in the past, but just for a day. But we're hoping to do a couple nights. So we'll really have some time to do. We usually do a group past life experience, but the new, fresh, really cool part will be back to the womb. And even if you've done a session before, you get new information about where you are as you access the place of life body selection and find out a little bit more about why you chose this body, why you chose this life, and getting a little help with the journey. Let me know. Oh, you know me, super introverted, Leticia. Yeah. She jokes and says her extroverted friends adopt her. I adopted Leticia. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter if you aren't already. So Leticia's going to put that up. Yes, the retreat sounds like so much fun. I'm really excited. So Life Between Lives, for those of you listening, lifebetweenliveshypnosis.com. There's a little pop-up. You can subscribe to our newsletter so that you will get information. There's a limited number of spots. So I just want to make sure if you're interested that you get in the first round. We will have obviously a waiting list, but I just am hoping for those of you who are my loyal people, my what's the word on Facebook? My fans, my members, I get it all mixed up. But I just want to make sure that you have access to the latest news about the retreat. We will be talking about your past lives, your a little glimpse of the afterlife you'll get to experience. You'll get to go back to the womb and you'll be with people like you. And to me, that's the best part, is those of us who are drawn to this work, those of us who are sensitive, intuitive, and all of that. It's so lovely when we get to come together because these are your people. So I think that was all that I wanted to mention about that. Yes. So I will let you know more. I should have a little more information by next week. So I will keep you posted. And until then, thank you for watching. Great to see you. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow. And join us next week for another episode of Soul Guide.